Today's chat is brought to you by, well, all of your support. Through the patronage you provide the Focus Fire chat team through Podbean's crowdfunding, we are able to provide you with the weekly podcast as well as the website and other aspects of Focus Fire chat. If you have any interest in becoming a patron of the FFC, please be sure to visit our website and click on the support link. Even a single dollar helps, and for those of you who are already patrons, thank you again for your generosity. You may have heard the whispers of guardians gathering in the shadows, exploring the mysteries of this world and the worlds which surround us. We are all in search of truth. Sometimes we need to focus that search, focus that fire. And so we come together. Join us. Join the discussion. Welcome to Focused Fire Chat. Welcome to Focus Fire Chat, recorded live on September 13th, 2019, over on twitch.tv/FocusFireChat. As always, I want to give a big shout out to our live chat here with us tonight. Thank you so much for joining us once again. This week's episodes are going to be focused around the exploring of another look at the darkness. This particular episode will serve as what we have come to call the intro session of the week's exploration. Before we get any further, however, let's run through a quick introduction of who all we have with us on the show. As always, this is your host, Blue Crew 86.
And this is the Queen of the Golden Age, Green-Eyed Music Lab.
I'm so glad that you've taken up that title. It's just correct. And last, but definitely not least, in the hot seat as guest co-host, we have our good friend, AnonPig. Anon, how are you doing?
I'm good. I'm very tired, though.
I'm good.
My bedtime is 8:30.
God!
It's midnight.
It's midnight.
Oh my gosh.
I am well past my bedtime at this point. Well, so usual introductory question next for you, but where can we find you on the internet?
You can mostly find me on my Twitter, just at ANONPIG, but you can also find a lore talk show.
Loose cannon?
Yeah, no, because I'm off my rhythm. I was supposed to make a joke. It's called Loose Cannon. I think it might be Loose Cannon Show on Twitch, because it's hard to get the exact name across the board.
Yeah. Oh gosh. Yeah. You know. I know that.
At Loose Cannon Show, Loose Cannon, stuff like that. It's myself, Baxter from the Ishtar Collective, Guardian, Rhino, if any of those people ring bells.
Yep. Rhino, especially with the Destiny
armor.
Yeah,
Rhino's great.
And if you want to hear Anon and Baxter go back and forth, dear Lord, the jokes, just Baxter, just the disapproving dad in the background kind of thing half the time.
Yeah, I love messing with Baxter.
Mm-hmm.
Well, don't worry about memorizing all the links. We'll get all those up in our show notes on the lorenetwork.com when the advanced session comes out later this week. But I know Green usually has a few of just like crazy questions, off-the-wall questions that she likes asking our guests. So I'm going to hand it over to her for that one.
So, you first popped into at least my awareness, my existence, through Ishtar Collective specifically.
Mm-hmm.
But where did you start your journey of destiny?
Being wrong.
Okay. About what?
Being horribly and embarrassingly wrong. The first thing that really got me started in the lore was what was that old Tolan card where he's rambling about why did matter win over the primordial broth?
Yeah, that's the one that's like, don't you understand, idiots?
Yeah.
Oh, the Taken King one?
Yeah. No.
Well,
like
it
D1.
was like it. Yeah, like, it was well before.
Well,
okay.
Like launch.
Yeah, Darkness 3 then.
Darkness
it's the
3.
Tolan
Yeah,
card we're going to talk about tonight.
Yeah. I thought like when I first read that card, I thought that was the linchpin of it all, where like this is where everything stems from, and I just like ran with that with a huge theory, and then like as I ran through the theory, I started thinking like I should do something with this. Like I'm doing so much research on it, and there are no doubt other people who want to know about the lore. So like on the Bungie forums, I just posted a poll like, what do you want to know about? And I'll write up a post about it. And everyone's like, oh, let's know about the Vex. So I wrote a post about the Vex, and it was like everything I found about the Vex. And I was like, I'm finding things that like kind of coincide with my theory. And then I was like, all right, let's keep doing this. And I just did like, I don't know, I did so many posts in so many days. Like I did at least one post a day. And that type of thing gets you noticed really fast when you're writing like a really lengthy post like that people are interested in. And just as it went on, I was like, oh, I am so wrong. And I was like, it just went further and further. Like I was wrong, and it's so obvious that I was wrong, and it is not that. Like I had this whole theory that it was like there was basically like a parallel of universes where matter won and one where the primordial won, and Destiny was basically the universes were colliding, and it was creating this catastrophe event that was the collapse and all that. And it's like I still think it would be cool, but it's not at all accurate.
Right.
It would be amazing,
yes.
But it's not what Destiny is.
No.
The primordial.
Someone else can do that.
Dark, my gosh, yeah. Look, I mean, I think we all have had crazy theories. Blue has a mind map of Osiris that breaks the website every time he opens it and tries to change anything.
I can't open it anymore. I've gotten emailed from him like, "Don't touch it, please." Like, all right, cool.
It's just. I mean, I have my theory about Dr. Shim.
I still think that's a valid theory.
I know. No,
Do you know my theory on Dr. Shim?
that is such an old theory. Oh my god, I almost forgot about it.
About Osiris being Dr. Shim?
Oh, what?
Yeah, that's my theory. See, this is a totally different one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so
that's what I'm saying. It's like I'm like, no,
Okay.
that actually kind of
I would
be
at least be interested in it.
yeah, I would need to flesh it out. It was mostly me trying to figure out a way to poke at Beard, because Beard and I would throw theories at each other, just back and forth. But this one actually gained some traction for some reason. I don't know why.
I could see there's character similarities with like attitudes and stuff. Although Shim is kind of more Toland in my opinion.
Really?
Like if I had to compare it to
I
someone,
can
because Osiris is like blunt and like I don't have time for your nonsense, but
yeah,
Toland
of course.
is mocking about it. Osiris isn't really mocking.
The thing with Shim, though, is just the dive into the Vex. Like, his obsession with getting into the Vex and figuring things out, which is why I was connecting those two. Like, Osiris is the resurrected version of Shim. But
I thought you were saying the because when you go into what was that one called, the
mission on
computer,
the Ishtar Collective mission.
yeah, where it's like you log onto the computer and it's like, greetings, Dr. Shim, and everyone's like, oh my god, we're Dr. Shim. Like, no, we just logged onto his profile. Like, calm down.
We just hacked
it. Don't worry about it, guys.
Gosh. All right, so I think I'm pretty sure I know them, but what class do you primarily play, and what subclass do you primarily play?
Hunter, obviously. I've always gone back and forth between Gunslinger and Night Stalker. I feel more home in Gunslinger, but Night Stalker lately has been getting a lot more utility, I guess. Whereas Gunslinger is just like damage.
Are you doing the old class where you're doing 6-shooter, doing Blade Barrage with Gunslinger? Like, where are you home at in those?
Kind of like I said with the power fantasy, it depends on what I'm going for. Like, if I know I'm going solo and like I just want to like output like a lot of damage, I might go middle tree with sealed Ahamkara grasps, so then I can melee, I can roll, I can melee, I can roll, I can melee, I can roll, and just like always get my melee back. And in between the melees and rolls, I can like just get like 4 shots of a mountaintop off and just like get like a burst of damage. And then so like if there's any like big major that's like giving me a hard time, they can go down really fast.
Nice.
PvP mostly it'd be like 6-shooter. Any raid encounter where I would have teammates to support me, I would probably be bottom tree with Celestial Nighthawk.
Okay, yeah. Be able to give that massive damage with the one shot.
Yeah.
I have no crazy question because I have a feeling tonight's going to be a lot of crazy with our community feedback. So, Blue?
Yeah. Well, actually, speaking about the community feedback. So, for this week, you know, Green loves having what we've started calling her pop quizzes. So you were kind enough to ask the community about the thoughts on the issue of the darkness, and I'm almost kind of afraid to ask how did everyone do, or what was everyone's thoughts on those.
I could tell you my favorite answer was actually the first one I got.
There were some good ones. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
I was looking at a few of them, and I did actually like the tongue-in-cheek ones.
So the question of the week was very simple. What is the darkness? Because that's pretty much the crux of everything in this episode. Like, what is it? We don't know what it is, kind of thing. And my favorite one actually it's a tie between two. One is a musical reference, because duh. And the other one is Man-at-Arms, because also duh. So Screwball I questioned, what is the darkness? Screwball answered, my old friend. And then Man-at-Arms screenshot the question and put the answer was there all along. And I had actually tagged AnonPig in it and put a little imp underneath him. Yeah. And he says that Anon is the darkness.
He always gives me a hard time. I don't know why.
Because it's Rick. He gives everybody a hard time, and I love it.
Yeah.
One of my favorites was it's the opposite of the light, or the absence of light, or something. Like I was like, yeah, you're not wrong. You're not wrong.
Beard's answer was, that's easy, just Discord on light mode. That's literally the darkness. I forgot there was a light mode for Discord, to be honest.
It hurts so much.
As far as like serious, to get into a little bit more of like actual theories that came up, one of the theories was the darkness is a cosmic force, a necessary polarization to the light, or mirroring it, warring for the right to claim superiority on how to best cultivate meaning to life in the universe. The light sees order as the superior method, the darkness sees chaos as being the preferred. As to the more physical manifestation, I believe the darkness has its own true vanguard and representatives in the universe, much like the traveler is to the light. Essentially, we are foot soldiers in a theology war. Also, the darkness is Nezarec. Fight me.
Wicked.
So, yep. Doesn't take long to figure out who put that theory up. Some people, let's see here, Vuru put, it's a sentient dimensional energy lurking in a deeper layer of the void. It is alone. It needs the universe to be rendered down to its final shape and then use that as a host so that it is no longer formless. It needs to be the first in a new universe, as Mara was in the Distributary, which I think is a kind of an interesting theory.
I like that.
Thoughts on that one?
I mean, I like that. It kind of coincides with what the Hive are going for. But I mean, like, that's kind of an issue with it as well, because like the Hive are getting their theology from the Worms, which are getting their theology assumably directly from the darkness, but it's playing a game of telephone. So if it's going from darkness to Worm to Hive, and Hive are saying it's all about being the final shape, what is the darkness actually saying?
Speaking of that, Dredge and Gemini mentioned, without being informed to the highest degree of accuracy, we the Guardians and Cryptarchs hesitate to articulate for fear we might deviate from the true course of vicissitude of the explanation of the matter concerning the darkness. In other words, we have no idea what it is.
I like that one.
The huge, I mean, I'm well done for using vicissitude in the correct manner. I've not seen that one. Nobody uses that word, but the Grimrod writers.
I had to resuscitate someone once. It was
Really?
intense. Yeah, I just passed out. I didn't know what was going on.
Just passed out. Yeah. Was it too much alcohol?
Probably.
Probably.
We're at a pool.
Oh, that's bad. That's not good. Mouth to mouth. Anyway, the deep incarnate is manifested as the hive, the never-ending consumers who bargain with their gods to be immortal for a price. What you may assume is the darkness will forever be the bone walkers, much like what the cunning show us, a bed of roses. So that was Lochran 8. So there's some interesting theories in here, some definite people just throwing out kind of their own ideas of both theory-wise and just funnies. Somebody said the triangles, like the triangle ships. Somebody said their obsession with the darkness is the darkness. Some people said the mountaintop quest. I agree.
I got that.
I don't even want to try it, to be honest. Like, I gave it a hot minute try in Crucible, and I was like, nope, I don't care.
Well, I mean, how close are you on, like, multis and medals?
I tried it for a hot minute. I mean, I did one match, and then rage quit. Like, I don't use grenade launchers. It
is very rage-inducing. When they made that change, I was so close that I was like, I'm sitting down today and I'm getting it done. And there were multiple times when I was trying to get it done, and I was just like so mad at what was happening that I like actually felt sick. I was like, oh, I'm gonna throw up. I'm so mad right now.
Oh gosh, it was just like, I can't kill anything with a grenade launcher. I don't use them. I don't understand the arch.
Yeah.
I don't but the arc of the grenade. It's not something I don't, especially the ones that have like the delayed explosion where it has like the sticky grenade. I don't get it. Like, I would have to use Colony. I would need that much assistance. Which...
I mean, not that Colony's a bad choice. That's what I used to get it to finish it off. But it's really just about learning like where to go for it. Like when you get it, especially when you're going for multi kills, what you want to do, in my opinion, what you want to do is pay attention to the kill feed, and when you start to see that the entire enemy team has just been like defeated, you want to assess which spawn they're going to go to, because they're probably all going to be coming out together, and lob grenades at them. Right as they're be the absolute worst person and just get it done.
See, mountaintop is the darkness. You have to be the worst.
Be the worst person.
Well, I mean, there's nothing worse than like being like, oh man, I can't believe I just died, and then you just get grenade launched.
Oh yeah, I gotcha. I still don't know if I will ever do it. Like, that is one weapon archetype I just don't care for. I didn't even go anywhere near. Was it Wendigo? I don't even know.
Wendigo.
Yeah,
Wendigo is good.
Wendigo.
Well, I mean, it is technically Wendigo. Did they actually call it Wendigo?
I don't know. It's the one that's Australian that all the Aussies went, yes!
I don't know.
That's all I have.
Is that all you got?
That's all I have. Yeah, that's all I got.
All right. Well, as always, we love hearing your thoughts, both on Twitter and Discord and in the live chat as well. Green tosses those questions out to Twitter each week, and our Discord server also gets a chance to weigh in on them as well, in case you're among those who don't feel comfortable in the Twitterverse. We make sure to scrape those and put them in our Discord server. But enough of my chatter. I know everyone is looking forward to diving into the discussion, so let's get the standard housekeeping notes out of the way, and then we'll get right into it. Last week, we discussed the extra lore topic for August, Halo. If you're enjoying the show, please be sure to rate, and if you don't mind, leave us a review on iTunes or comment on the episodes on Podbean or whichever podcasting app you use to enjoy podcasts. Reviews are extremely helpful, as they not only let us know what we can do better for you, but also help continue to expand the FFC family, allowing more and more perspectives to be heard. To those of you who have already taken the time to leave us a review, thank you. As many of you are aware, Focus Fire Chat is a community in which we offer the chance to dive into lore from within various titles and mediums, with a special focus on the Destiny universe. Every Friday at about 10 p.m. Central, the podcast team gets together to stream a summary of the chosen topic for that week. The hope for this is to help encourage dives into aspects of game lore within both our Discord server and within the other communities we share the digital world with. If you're a fan of lore in all its various forms, be sure to also check out thelorenetwork.com, a central hub for content that covers a wide variety of different titles and mediums. Our full show notes for each week's topic will be posted here, so for the additional information or guest details, be sure to check out the site. Next week's topic is going to be Crucible stories. That being said, however, we still want to hear your thoughts about this week's topic. Be sure to weigh in over on Discord, and don't be shy in tagging any of the team in the conversation. We cannot wait to read what your thoughts are. Now, let's get back to the show. Where do you guys want to start as far as like an introduction to what is the darkness? I guess that you want to do that as the starting point, is talk about what is the darkness, or our thoughts about the darkness from Destiny, like the original D1.
I think that maybe just having the darkness card, the beginning of the whole thread that everybody just became obsessed about, might be a good place to start. Because I mean, I don't know about you, but this card was kind of what, well, the actual darkness card, where it talks about something hit us, killed our golden. That card itself, and yeah, it does have the different positions, Pajari, Wontons. Just, it kind of started the spark of all of that. Just talk, ultimate baddie. And
well, I think the Queen of the Golden Age should read it.
by the way, for listeners and chat, the reason why he's calling me this is because when we went to Guardian Con, Blue is a sweetheart and brings gifts every year. And I don't know if it's just his old-fashioned Texas upbringing, but he's been making these books where he'll cut out he'll glue all the pages together, and he'll cut out a good chunk of them and create like a pocket inside of it for whatever.
Spaghetti.
In the book, yeah, totally. You could put spaghetti in there.
Yeah, it's similar to like a Poisonwood Bible, basically, but they're not Bibles, is the only difference.
No, but the book that he used for me is titled Queen of the Golden Age, and it has one of his drawings inside of it with a hunter emblem, and it's kind of, is it the title page that you just moved, or is it?
On that one, I can't remember if it was I think that was I want to say that was a title page, but I took I basically recreated the Night Stalker sketch of the hunter logo, and then I think didn't I colored it, didn't I? I can't remember on that one. I think I colored it.
You did. It's got like the blue hunter orange. It's very cute, but it sits on my desk. It's one of the things like my desk in front of me. So that is why he's calling me that. It's not literally that I'm claiming to be the Queen of the Golden Age.
I mean, she wouldn't deny the term, but
I would. Well, I mean, if you so bestow it upon me. You can't hear it, but I just like dusted my shoulders.
Yeah,
anyway.
you could hear it a little bit. You could hear it a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah. But we'll do the card of the darkness. Something hit us, killed our golden age, nearly wiped us out. Only the traveler saved us, and at a shattering cost. The speaker tells of a cosmic force that swept over us and caused the collapse. Legend calls it the darkness, the traveler's ancient enemy which hunted across space. All we have left are questions. Centuries of debate gave birth to competing arguments of the nature of the darkness and the collapse. The Pujari position describes the darkness as a force with both physical and moral presence, an actualization of evil. Pujari art depicts the darkness as a great storm, or as a change in conduct, a corruption that emerged from within and poisoned the Golden Age. Saint 14's position argues that the darkness was an invading armada, an alien force of incredible but tangible power. Some adherents believe that this armada sprang from species rejected or discarded by the traveler for their sins. Ulan Tan's thesis considers the darkness a necessary symmetry to the traveler in a cosmic balance. In this view, the traveler's goodness led it to sacrifice for others, and it is up to us to return this goodness by healing the traveler. The monist position, or the deflaciary position, considers the darkness as a technologically sophisticated force, perhaps a post-singularity intelligence. Adherents invoke information theory or contend that the universe is a simulation, allowing advanced intelligence to gain weakly acausal powers by bending the rules. The acataleptic claim these words. The acataleptic clause claims that we are intrinsically unable to understand the darkness. In many respects, this belief parallels the praxic creed, which suggests that we should stop worrying about the nature of the darkness and focus on resisting and defeating it.
Punch it in the face.
Certain positions, often labeled heretical, imply that the traveler itself triggered the collapse, or that it knew the darkness was coming for it and hoped to use the solar system as a sacrifice or a proxy army. The binary star cult is one notable example. By the way, reading this card with a slightly stuffed up nose and not able to breathe all the way like normal
I'm impressed.
rather difficult. Anyway, the Darkness card. This is what sparked everything. At least for me, it did. Did it do the same for you guys?
Mm-hmm. I'm trying to look up. I had Anon, I'm sure you probably have similar notes. I had notes on the those last few, like monist, deflationary, and the acataleptic.
Blue copy 26.
Yay! Green thinks ahead. Yes.
By the way, if you want our first episode on the Darkness, that is episode 26.
Thank you,
I was not
Green.
there.
Thank you, Green. I was like, I swear I had all these things written down somewhere. Yeah. Okay. So Green beat me to it. Thanks, Green.
Mm-hmm.
That's literally that's what I was looking for. I'm so So the fun thing for that one too is like this is also the debate on the binary / trinary star cults. I remember this was like a huge thing as well at that point because the binary star cult, that was D1 was binary, and then it was like later there was a mention of a trinary star cult, which caused a bit of confusion because we're not really sure if those are the same or if they are separate.
Yeah, I think what it was this card says binary, and I think it was the cloak that said trinary. It was either cloak, but then there was also the lighthouse. Remember, there was the mention on the lighthouse card as well of the. And it was like, but yes, then there was what was it? That's the one with like the skeleton deer, I think. Yeah. So yeah, because it was cult / trinary star, which like that's not even what it's called. It's weird that there's the binary star cult, and then there is the cult / trinary star. It drove me up a wall when that happened because I was like, okay, was this a typo? Or is there actually separate? This was their internal name, and they just forgot to change it. And they were like, "Oh!"
Just makes it onto the game.
Yeah. Out of all the items, one getting through with their temp name seems like a very small. I'm like, typo. If that's fine. But no, I thought the other thing was like the names of the different positions here. Actually, these are actual terms. Like these are actual philosophical and like not theological, but philosophical concepts. Like actacoleptic is basically literally it means incapable of being comprehended. And it's like, and this is actually a throwback to skepticism, like original skepticism. Like that basically says you can't be certain about anything. You can only be pretty sure about stuff. And then monism is like there is no duality, or what is it? It's a theory or doctrine that denies the existence of a distinction or duality in some sphere, such as that between matter and mind or God and the world. So it's basically there's only one instead of a binary. There's a monary. Deflationary theory to truth is a philosophical statement that basically asserts that a statement is true. To assert that a statement is true is just to assert the statement itself. So it's like basically it's a play on words. The example that's given is snow is white. Well, yes, for example, to say that snow is white is true, or that it is true that snow is white is equivalent to saying simply that snow is white, and thus, according to the deflationary theory, is all that can be said significantly about the truth of snow is white. It's like it's a semantic philosophy like type concept. It's really like just etymology and stuff like that.
Do you think any of the theory, because that's what essentially this card is, it's putting, and this is going both to, do you think any of these theories hold any weight?
I think all of them do.
I was about, yeah, that's the chat saying that too. It's like, I think in a degree, all of these statements are like a semblance of truth.
Especially because Bungie has actually said, like, they don't have a single endpoint in mind. So to have us beat the darkness would be a single endpoint. But there's so many people saying so many things about what the darkness is. It feels like we're just labeling anything that really wants to fight us as the darkness. The only reason why the Fallen isn't the darkness is because we're beating them. And because they're not the ones.
Until that, though, that was like Saint 14's position, right?
Yeah,
it was like the Armada.
Exactly.
And then Pajari's position, I mean, that's a description of Clovis Bray, you know, and Ulan Tan's, we're seeing a resurgence of the concept of symmetry with, you know, recent events. like I think that the only one that we haven't gotten a lot of confirmation is actually the heretical ones. And I think that's mostly because we just haven't really seen anything. Like, we haven't seen that particular piece yet. I kind of feel like should be stated.
Was the Traveler causing the collapse type thing?
Well, the Traveler using us as a proxy army. Which, I mean,
that feels
you kind of
accurate.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Depending on, because, like, technically speaking, you have the pacifist guardians that Eferdite is a part of out in was it Jupiter, I think?
No one knows, from my understanding.
Yeah, well, I thought it was like the area was like, it was outside of it was beyond the asteroid belt, right?
Jovians.
Or Jovians, okay. But, like, I could see them being like, no, like, this is a proxy army and I don't want any part in it. I mean, like, I see there is a grain of truth in that. And I think that's the thing is, like, all these positions, ultimately, there is a grain of truth. As much as it pains me, even the speaker's position,
Okay.
I think that, and that's kind of what I think Vuru is saying in chat, too, right now, is, like, the similarity to the original, like, the 9 card. I always refer to that as the gather information check card for Destiny. It was like, all right, you go into a bar, roll a gather information check, and this is the answer you're going to get. That's kind of what this one does feel a little bit like as well.
Okay. So what if we went into the next kind of series of cards that we got, quote unquote, the Darkness cards, the Ghost Fragment cards that have Darkness titled? Because all 4 of those cards, because there's Ghost Fragment, Darkness, Darkness 2, Darkness 3, Darkness 4, all 4 of them are completely different from each other. Like, there's not really one thing besides the fact that they're called Darkness card that tie them. We had Ghost Fragment Darkness, which is the Sky Shock Alert card, where we first hear about everything shutting down. It's the collapse, right? Or at least what we understand, the collapse. Sputin, his whole cut with that. Then you get Darkness 2, which is Dreams of Alpha, where it is the philosophy. The universe is a beast. I know there's theories tied into this card. Then we have Darkness 3, which is the Toland card that was brought up earlier, which, if I remember correctly from your episode 26, was the main one you guys focused on back then.
Yeah, and there's a fun extracurricular connection that I have with this card too, to an actual philosopher, John Toland, who, like, this card is like a thesis ripped directly from that philosopher's works, which is just really interesting for me.
And then we finally end up with Darkness 4, which is the exotic card that you get, and it's the This War is All There Is For You card. Fight on, then this war is everything. So
I don't remember what card. Where did we get Darkness 4? Where was that from? Was that attached to anything specific?
Probably just a ghost, right?
It's just a ghost.
Was it just a ghost? Okay.
I don't remember where you picked one up from, but it was available in just basic Destiny.
Yeah, it was a base vanilla Destiny one. It reads like a Dream of Alpha Lupa is the reason I was asking. It has that cadence, I guess would be the best word to put there. But it's not because it's talking about us. It's not talking about the whatever Alpha Lupa is. The Traveler or whatever theory you want to hold to.
One thing that's always just kind of had me hung up, just to kind of go back to the original The Darkness card with all the theories, though, is that like I think it was Blue was saying, the monist, deflationary, all these are actual things. They're actual terms being used appropriately. So to have positions, even if they are labeled heretical, be called the binary star cult, it feels purposeful. Like, it's not just what should we call ourselves. Let's call ourselves the binary star cult. It's edgy. Like, they're not just throwing a random thing out there, which makes me think what connects binary stars to the Traveler is using us as a proxy army.
Well, you have the I may be speaking that this might be incorrect, but isn't a binary and a trinary star where you also have nemesis stars?
As far as like of it?
Yeah, isn't
I think
what's a nemesis star?
A nemesis star is gun? It's like a death Deathical.
Deathical?
A nemesis star is a theoretical star thought to be to our sun. It was postulated to speculate affect our outer solar system,
Which is the Death Star. It's like it's
Star
like a
Wars
theory.
thing?
No, it's a theoretical. So like it's basically it's referred to as Death Star companion because basically it's eventually going to smack into something, namely us.
So a good like Destiny reference kind of sort of thing to go with it is the whole Nessus thing. How Nessus gets pulled completely out of orbit. It's the concept that there's theoretically
that
could
was
be
Vex nonsense,
right,
though, wasn't it?
Right.
I get
likely
Yeah.
Vex doing it, but it's the idea of something being pulled out of orbit and put it on.
More
the
like
Nemesis could do that.
Fundament.
Yes, the
Syzygy.
The Fundament.
the syzygy.
Well, I just meant the planets that got sucked into the Fundament.
Oh yes.
Like literally what the Nemesis star is supposed to do. Like, yep, sucking planets into other planets.
Yep. Well, just like put them on a collision course, change their orbit.
Yeah.
Which, if you're saying you could say that the binary star code is saying that the Traveler is the Nemesis star.
Oh.
Like that's the
Okay.
hypothetical thing that collides
Yeah.
with Earth. Because the thing is like that would explain because that's the Nemesis star. You know, like you were saying, Green is the postulate to explain perceived cycle of mass extinctions, mass collapses. And yeah, Black Flag. Black Flag is all it pulls the darkness to us. Like there's a.
Let's see that added the brighter the light goes,
Well, I mean that's
darker
even,
the shadows.
because that's what was it, Zur and D1. It's like your Traveler has a dark mirror.
Why isn't that explained?
I don't know. Did that ever get explained?
Yeah, just in Season of the Drifter.
I don't remember.
I swear to God that just got explained. I'm so out of it.
Sure.
I really like the idea that the Traveler is the Nemesis star, making it the binary star system, though. That's really
Because that would tie into what you're saying too. Because I mean, I agree with your thing. Is like everything else has a very poignant name. This seems
what I was
like
originally thinking was, could people have studied the Traveler and revealed like something about it? Could people in the Golden Age have found that the Traveler actually has abandoned a binary star system, and that binary star system is now destroyed? And so it's like, oh, are we just sacrifices to the darkness? Like that type of, that's where the philosophy could have come from, in my opinion.
So if you run with Spinfoil, now that the Traveler is permanently seated against Earth, if it is the Nemesis pulling everything towards us, we are on a collision with quote-unquote the darkness, whatever.
Yeah.
theoretically.
Destiny.
So the Dark Mirror thing, it was actually from Most Loyal Unknown Space, where Varix is talking to the Nine, and
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
I walk among the children of Earth and the blessed of the great machine, the one they call the Traveler, because they have been chosen. For you, the great machine is a dark mirror.
Oh, you the girl.
Yeah, so your Traveler has a dark mirror. It's like, I guess it's referencing its past.
Would that actually make, if you're thinking the sides of or good guy versus bad guy perspective,
Yeah.
the Traveler bad guy to fallen, is it? But the Traveler was there for their whirlwind, right?
But
Yeah,
but what he's saying is like if it's the history, then its abandonment of the fallen or the Elixni to create the fallen is the darkness, or not the darkness, but God, this conversation is going to get confusing.
It just pulled the darkness to them.
Well,
It
it's
caused
like
their
its
own
actions.
whirlwind.
Its actions was the antithesis of the light. Does that make sense? I don't even know if that makes sense as I said that. Veru's asking the meaning of a dark mirror, like in the terminology here. So like usually it's like the best example that I can come up with is actually another video game, Dark Link from Oracle of Time.
Zelda?
Yeah, Zelda. It's like it's the mirror image of a thing, but it's like if something is white, it is black. If it is light, it is dark, and that's where you get that concept of like that dark mirror. It's the theoretical opposite to X.
And
Yes, yeah.
you'll have the good guy version, have
The
the
dark
evil
twin.
version of the good guy version. It's like the bad guy or whatever.
Or like a split of personality where his evil side. It's the evil side. I think it's another easy way.
The other side.
Other side, yes.
Yep.
Yeah, like when you divide the main character into like 8 personalities, he has his sad, his happy, his evil.
All I can think of is Teen Titans Go when Raven gets split.
I was thinking of Jimmy Neutron.
Oh, Jimmy, yep, okay.
That's a good one.
That's a good one.
That's a good one.
It's like, oh, that's the cool Jimmy. Somehow.
Somehow.
That existed in him? Okay.
That was buried
It's the Jimmy
really,
that goes
really
out back
deep.
and smokes.
Yeah. He's really overpowered by every other Jimmy.
You can't squash that nerd. It's just too. All right. So as far as like D1 and from a lot of work about back.
Yeah,
do you
I
have
mean, like
anything else to
the
add
ghost
to on
fragments were
D1
the other
stuff?
ones. Like
Yeah, and the ghost fragments. I still don't necessarily see a major connection to them. The only thing I can think of is that the ghost fragment somewhat explains some of the theories or like the ideas behind the theories.
So let me double check. He might have deleted it. Oh, well, yeah, he deleted a bunch of... Seth just had a very large thread. Ghost Fragment Darkness was the first actual card I did for the D1 Alpha, if I recall correctly, establishing a stupid number of codes and techno details, which later Destiny Raiders expanded on. Okay, well, that doesn't actually help.
AKA Seth wanted to write some cool and drove everybody crazy.
Which
sounds like Seth.
Which sounds like Seth. Because, yeah, Darkness 1 was the Sky Shock event so that's like the event of basically we always kind of assumed that was the antithesis, or not the antithesis, the catalyst point for the collapse. You also see like the references that will later be used with the what was it, the sleeper simulant. You have the different command lines with those, like the Yuga, the Voluspa, the Kari White. Wasn't there? Yeah, Monte Carlo. I want to say there was. Yeah. Basically, this is basically saying this. Sterilized neutrino scattering, which is where a lot of people kind of focused back on after the Taken were introduced.
Learning about, well, especially after Asher started screaming at everything.
Asher, you need a translator. So yeah, and then like you have like the Hadal incident, and all these things, and that's really kind of, so that's kind of what it seemed like that was the entry point for the collapse. And then Darkness 2 was we kind of mentioned was the Dreams of Alphi Lupi. Really, honestly, this one just seems like it's like I read this and I still cannot not see that it's like there is no good or evil. It's just the way things are. Like, it's, because it says no sun complains about its death. Life is the problem. Life can be woven from flesh or circuit or thoughtful light. Or origins don't matter, but small half-smart creatures have a fierce talent for denying the inevitable, for balking and complaining about injustices that don't exist, and consequences that should be borne in silence.
That card encompasses being that.
No, it encompasses all of them.
No, it doesn't.
Life can be woven from flesh, which is humanity, and the Elixni.
Nope, I'm thinking back to the gate where the creatures from the side.
Oh, the tube creatures?
The tube creatures.
Yeah. Well,
God.
It's the
Cocytus
gate.
That was a 9 thing.
Yeah, that's the Cocytus gate.
The Cocytus gate, yes. But it's just the concept that they don't deterioration.
Yeah, but see, I don't think that. And I would agree, or I would disagree, because the very first says like the body is made from tiny stuff, from near nothings, from atoms swimming through a blood of crackling sparks. Simple eternal laws shape the beast. And see, the entire point of the Cocytus Gate was that they didn't understand those eternal laws because they didn't understand the concept of entropy. In
our universe, that law, but in their universe where they come, or where whatever that is comes from, it does not. So technically, they don't follow.
Right, but this one's saying that. So to be clear, are you saying that this is tied to Cocytus?
Not necessarily. I'm just saying that there is an example of spirit that doesn't necessarily follow the idea.
Oh, yeah. But I'm saying, like, in the soul system, or in our universe, this does explain, like, It explains the organics. It explains the Vex and, thoughtful light. All these things kind of, it says life can be woven from flesh or circuit or thoughtful light. I mean, that's basically humans awoken and exos right there. And then it goes on, origins don't matter. And, you deny the inevitable, which it's life is the problem. It's the whole thing of the natural order of things is you have natural order of life and death. But what this is kind of arguing is that, and this is kind of where you kind of get into the abomination of the hive, because they're saying that life is the problem. So if you cut out life, then you don't have the problem there. But there are those simple eternal laws, and that's where it's kind of the whole thing of like, is the darkness actually an abomination, or is it a continuation of the law of the jungle?
Well, which darkness?
Right. Yeah. I guess that's also
because if you're to listen to Callus, it almost sounds like the darkness is a giant Ahamkara.
Does anybody want to listen to Callus at this point? To be honest, I mean, he's such an unreliable source. In many respects.
I don't see himself as an unreliable. Obviously, his playwrights. What are they?
The Scions,
the fan fiction,
the scribes.
Yeah, Chapal.
Black Flag. He's just lonely, Green.
I don't like him. He can be lonely over on his ship and just stay away from me.
But I mean,
he's got a weird fascination with Guardians.
Setting all that aside, he's had firsthand experience with at least something extremely powerful, something more powerful than we've seen. And it's like, if something like that exists, arguably I feel it's safe to say that is a darkness, assuming there are multiple darknesses, and that is a darkness which is literally eating reality, and it's going to be one of the things that we're going to have to stop, because
it's Langoliers.
No. Bad Blue, go to your corner. God, now I can't get that out of my head. I hate you. Okay, so I actually want to transition, if we can, into the advanced episode, because I want to continue this thought. I want to continue this thought with the whole Callus thing, and if there are multiple darknesses.
Okay. I'm sorry if I jumped ahead.
No. I think this is a good place to start wrapping up too, because we're getting to that point where we're getting towards time for intro episode, and so I think this is a good teaser for what you'll hear later on in the week.
Delete this footnote when the thing actually happens. I love
stupid. I hate those Scions so much. Say goodbye.
Say goodbye, Blue. I love how chat's like, Blue. No.
Jill Shar wrote those, right?
Yes. Yeah, it was her last assignment. John Toe was like,
"This is my swan song. I'm killing everyone."
Oh no, that was a great revelation for us. But real quick for the intro, to wrap up the intro, just let's do a quick round of just little shout outs. So Anon, do you have any shout outs for the intro session?
I have no idea.
Okay. Green, do you have any shout outs? Green, do you have any shout outs for Anon?
My shout out is to Anon, and just, I kind of want to pet your head, but I'm halfway across the country still awake. I want to have a beer with you at Guardian Con to get your butt there, sir.
I'm pretty sure it was supposed to happen last year.
I know.
At the last minute,
you about this.
At the last minute, some stuff was revealed, and I owed a lot of money, and then I found out that I actually didn't owe a lot of money, but the people who claimed I owed a lot of money weren't telling me how they actually owed me money, and so go figure.
Did you get money out of this whole deal? Because
I should
shout out to them for being bad at booking. But also they're jerks.
I mean, it's the government. How could they be? But so yeah,
no comment.
I should be getting easily my flight down to Florida. When everything is all settled, I should be getting the flight money. So
awesome.
Next year is almost definitely locked in now.
Nice.
See, okay, here's what I want to see. I want to see you and Mylan, and I want a repeat of the story that happens.
No,
with you guys.
no, absolutely
Also
not.
Men-at-Arms
Absolutely
on top of it.
not.
And
That
then
is
if we can
not going to
convince
happen.
Log to come,
Oh, God.
Log Power Slave, and just get all four of you together.
Anon's going to
kept
die.
feeding me drinks. I was like,
Anon's going to die.
I was like, Matt, man, like, I don't have that much money. He's like, don't worry, I got this. And every time my drink was empty, he was like, you're getting another. And I was like, I don't need another. And he's like, you're getting another. Great, I'll get another.
The thing is, though, is if you have Man-at-Arms there, for some reason, Man-at-Arms has a way of actually wearing Mylan down.
It's
That
hilarious.
Mylan looked
It's amazing.
like he got ran over by a truck because Man-at-Arms could outdrink him. And it was impressive.
I mean, I could have kept going, but I would have remembered even less of that night. That was one hell of a 4th of July. God bless America.
That story is my favorite stories. Anyway.
I feel like
Right.
every time that story gets told, I learn something new.
I'm sure. All right. Blue, do you have a shout out?
Nope. Just congratulations to everyone for surviving the week. Because
Good job. Thumbs up.
it's been a week.
Please.
All right. Tale of the dying liver. All right. So, as usual, bye. With that, we'll begin to wrap the chat up. Thank you again to those over on Twitch for coming to spend your evening with us. If you'd like to join us for the live streaming of the episodes, please be sure to give us a follow over on twitch.tv/focusedfirechat. Links to all our episode archives can also be found at www.focusedfirechat.com. Please be sure to email us at focusedfirechat@gmail.com with any comments or questions for our team concerning the podcast, and let us know how we're doing by giving us some feedback and a rating over on iTunes as well. Also, be sure to check out all the amazing work being featured over on thelorenetwork.com. So until next time, focus your fire, and may your light shine bright.